Hey everyone, welcome. We will just wait a few minutes. We had some smaller or minor technical issues a few seconds ago. That's why my colleague Liz is still trying to join. So we will give her a few seconds so she might be able to join. Otherwise, we will still start just because we want to stick to our defined timeline. So just lean back for a few more seconds. And otherwise, I will start sharing my screen and you will see our presentation. Give me a quick second. There you go. Just need to get my, no, there we are. So looks like we should be able to start. So just ping up if everything is good. Doesn't look too bad in my opinion. Okay. And if I'm not wrong, you should be able to see my screen. That looks great. Okay. Let me welcome you again. So my name is Samuel. Like I mentioned, unfortunately, looks like that technical wise, we lost our colleague Liz, but I can promise you that we prepared amazing content for you. So just stick until the end. There will be some smaller surprises for you as well. And then I think we are ready to start. So like we mentioned, we are going to talk about marketplaces today, and we have brought you a quick and crisp agenda. So first of all, we're gonna talk about why marketplaces are such a trending topic, why are they so important, why do they actually matter on the market. Then we will talk about the building blocks, right? What is actually necessary, what is mandatory to build like a successful and proper marketplace. At third, we're gonna talk about how can you run a marketplace on Spryker. How is Spryker's technology stack different from other vendors on the market, from other technology providers? Then we're going to talk about a forecast. So basically, we came up with some assumptions. We basically calculated the growth of a potential B2B marketplace. And then we have another executive summary at the end. And then just two outcomes for you, like, hey, what should you actually do next? Okay, so let's get right into it. So let me start with some contextual input for you. So here we brought you a quick and short quote by Gobi Wadi. He's general partner at TCV, known for their broad and multiple years of experience in marketplaces. So in short, basically it says the higher the friction on the market between supplier and between demand and the offering, the higher the opportunity in terms of marketplace, right? So if you think of a scenario in which you have a lot of micro interactions, maybe a lot of processes and sub-processes, a marketplace might be a good opportunity to build, because with a marketplace, you can basically shorten the whole processes. Okay, I got the input that I'm currently freezing from time to time. I'm really hoping that my internet provider is not breaking up with me in the next 2 seconds, but I'm hoping that you can still hear my voice. I will just quickly rearrange my microphone a bit next to myself, but thanks to the quick comment. Okay, so again, if you are facing a market which is defined by a lot of friction, etc., by a lot of complexity, a marketplace might be a great opportunity for you. Regarding challenges, right? So basically, we should always ask ourselves, what are actually the challenges, or what are the pain points that maybe a marketplace is able to address? And based on our latest research with experts, market, and actually getting back to our customer base and asking them, hey, what is actually the problem you are solving with marketplaces? We identified, let's say, 7 challenges that are being addressed. One is the overall topic about velocity, right? The market is changing super fast, so you need to keep up with that kind of growth, right? And if your customers are asking for more diverse products, for additional services, etc., it might be hard for you to either have the investment for that, which is actually point 3 in this challenge list, neither the time to develop that product on your own. So building a proper marketplace on which you can basically onboard merchants to provide you with the missing pieces in your product portfolio might be a great way to do so. Secondly, nowadays, everyone keeps testing new business models, business units, and other revenue streams. And again, a marketplace is a great way to do that because, again, merchants might bring a new variety to your marketplace with different pricing strategies, etc. And collaborating with them will enable you in becoming, let's say, the unified commerce or marketplace in your specific vertical. Customer-wise, and I think that's something everyone can resonate with, even B2B customers are looking for a way to search for their, looks like Liz is there. Hi, Liz.
Hello, I made it in the end.
No problem. If it's not a big deal, I will just continue with the challenges and just give me like a thumbs up if you want to continue from there as you want. Okay, so like I mentioned, B2C customers, so every one of us basic consumers tend to be more challenging, right? We have diverse needs. We want to be, they should be addressed in a one-stop shop experience. And that's actually also the case for B2B customers. B2B customers are looking for the one supplier that they can reach out to on with which they can basically strongly collaborate and get everything they need to basically fill up their own pipeline or facilitate their own project. Product-wise, I think we all know that long tail is a strategic topic, right? So basically trying to serve more niche demands from different customer segments. And again, you could develop all those products on your own or maybe those services, but a marketplace might be the right way to go. Again, having the right vendors or merchant at your site or next to you will make you actually stronger. And the last two ones, so the number 6 in this list of challenges is definitely the rise of customer acquisition costs, right? So every one of you that might talking with your marketing team, for example, in terms of, hey, how can we generate new customers for our business? Where are they? How can we contact them? How can we reach out to them? That's cost intense, right? Because you need to invest a lot of money, maybe in paid advertising, etc. And that will basically increase the cost of your acquisition. And then you might ask yourself, okay, but how can I find the perfect sweet spot in between of high acquisition costs and customer lifetime value? And again, if you have a marketplace, you could think of serving your customers with additional or complementary goods and services, which will then again increase their lifetime value. And lastly, I think that's also more than true today. The digitalization brought us in a state and everything gets more tech, right? We are talking about tech companies, etc. So complex IT is something that might hold you back. So that's why investing in the right technology that basically enables you as a business owner, as well as your IT team, to come up to build proper use cases, proper business models is certainly the way to go. Which is, again, a case for technologies such as Spryker if you want to build a marketplace with us. Yeah, and as maybe you might already know, I'm just checking, Liz, do you want to talk a few seconds about those amazing numbers?
Sure, I will just jump in there. So as you know, Sam has already gone through some of the challenges, but we're also, thinking about the context. What are the opportunities that are available, especially in B2B? So a lot of numbers there. Don't need to look at them all now because we'll send it to you afterwards, but we're just going to focus on 2. So the first one is that almost 30% of enterprise marketplaces launched will serve B2B transactions by 2023. So that's in less than 18 months now. So we're already seeing that the trend of marketplaces is evolving towards a B2B offering. So, as a B2B business, you still kind of have this unique opportunity to corner the market for, your niche or your vertical, but you really need to act fast because everyone else is getting in on the game. Just to focus on a second point there, we'll have a look at the regional maturity. So as you can see, Asia is way more developed at about 70%, but the US and Europe as well are also quite well developed, but there's still a lot of space and opportunity for, new B2B marketplaces to grow and conquer. So it's very much all still to play for. Yes.
Looks like we are already at chapter 2, right? So I think we are good in time. So thanks, Liz, for recapping on some numbers, which again are stating that there's a huge relevance in terms of marketplace adoption. So now let's get a bit deeper into the whole topic, down that rabbit hole, so to say, in regards to B2B marketplace. So how do you actually build them? First of all, let's have a quick comparison between traditional commerce models and B2B or marketplace, enterprise marketplace models. In a traditional commerce model, you as an operator, you are basically owning your own shop environment, your commerce strategy, and you are serving your customers. Pretty straightforward. But as you can see, actually in this image as already, you as an enterprise marketplace, you are basically enriching your offering, your whole USP, everything that you are selling to your customers by basically a multiple by multiple layers, right? Because with each new merchant that you might onboard to your marketplace, you are basically delivering more customer experience to your marketplace, which again will result in higher stickiness, more average order value, etc. But we actually will cover that in an amazing, good-looking graphic in a few slides. So stay tuned for that. Building block wise, maybe a few of you that might be familiar with the business model canvas might now recall something that looks actually pretty similar to this one. So there's actually also something like a B2B marketplace canvas. So let's start with the left for now. So there are like the key partners and key resources. Key partner wise, we are talking about the merchants you might partnering with, the technology providers, the payment providers, maybe a few kind of agencies or third-party service providers that you are partnering with to build that kind of foundation, that marketplace tech stack. Key resources there might be the whole process, right? The overall, the onboarding of the merchants, the payment processes, technical infrastructure, security, etc. Then on the right side, to whom are you actually, let's say, selling that value, right? And these are the customer segments that you are trying to appeal to, right? That might be B2B customers in a specific vertical, maybe aviation, or it's like automotive and supply, etc. And for those, you will work on a certain customer relationship, right? Like recalling again, you invest in customer relationship to increase their customer lifetime value, knowing that you might need to invest a lot of money into customer acquisition costs. And then in the middle, you will find that perfect sweet spot of like, okay, this is my offering. These are the people or the customer segments I want to that I want to attract with. And that's the value proposition, right? That's like the holy grail in terms of like, okay, what kind of friction are you actually now solving with the marketplace? Because that's your value proposition, right? If you are able to decrease the number of touch points, for example, in a certain B2B process by 10, you can imagine the whole opportunity that lies within there, right? Like just basically simplifying the whole process. And then again, this whole business model has a, let's say, foundation of the cost streams and the revenue streams. And speaking of revenue streams, we again quickly identified for you what are, let's say, the most common or the most used marketplace revenue models. There might be more and even sometimes variations of those that we are currently presenting in this slide, but we will still stick to these 5 for now. So the first one is, let's say, transaction-based, right? Super straightforward. Every time there's a transaction on your marketplace, you will basically charge something like a fee or like a commission from your merchant. Easy to set up, maybe a bit limited in scaling, etc. Then you might have the subscription-based, right? Which is super attractive in terms of like, basically merchants might pay a subscription fee to become part of your marketplace, but there's no kind of additional charge or fee in terms of transaction, which might be interesting, right? Because you can assume as a merchant, it's great to know, okay, I just pay like a fixed fee per month, but I'm unlimited in terms of like how many transactions I can actually try to place on the marketplace, or how many transactions I'm able to place. Yes, you could think of making it listing based, right? So basically, it would imply that a new merchant that joins your marketplace, he wants to list, I don't know, 100 products, and you basically take a fee for each product he wants to list. or maybe even trying to categorize it, right? Depending on a certain density in a product subcategory, you could think of, okay, I want to increase the listing price because there is already like a high density of products that are being sold multiple times a day, maybe 1,000 times per week, etc. Then you can also think of a lead fee model, which you might be familiar from a consumer perspective if you think of some kind of meta searches that you might use, for example, to book a flight. These normally are marketplaces that aggregate a lot of flight tickets, right? And once you click on one, you get kind of led to the corresponding operator, and the platform on their own will have something like a lead fee model with that operator. And then you can also think like a common practice, like, hey, a free to start approach, mainly when you start your marketplace, you could think of a promotion cycle of, I don't know, 19 days, in which you basically invite every merchant just to join your marketplace, because then you can quickly ramp up the number of merchants. You will have a multitude of different products that you will be able to offer, and you can basically start from there with those above mentioned payment methods or revenue streams. Talking about marketplaces, there are basically two roles. And for those of you that are listening currently, I would highly assume that you would be interested in the operator role, which again, basically means as an operator, you own and you run the marketplace. So that's why you will be responsible for the overall infrastructure. You will set the foundation in terms of what are the processes, what are the regulations, what is let's say your own understanding of quality assurance on the marketplace. You will take care of the overall merchant onboarding, right? Because it's your responsibility that once a new merchant wants to join your marketplace, that you treat them as good as possible so that they can take care of their products. And from a business model, I mean, we covered that a few seconds ago. There are different ways to build their revenue streams around marketplace. Then on the other hand, you will have merchants. Maybe a few of you are already familiar being a merchant by, for example, having a few products on third-party marketplaces offered. As a merchant, the goal of them is to actively participate on a marketplace by offering their products and services. They are mainly responsible for the overall product information, their own pricing strategy, their merchant profile, right? That it's kind of enriched with reviews, etc., with a lot of product information that basically secures or increases the conversion rate on your marketplace. And from time to time, they might also be responsible, for example, for the after-sales services, right? If there's anything related to the product, they might be the people to be contacted. And as a merchant, normally you stick to a simple margin method. Basically, you take you calculate a certain margin on your products, you sell them on a marketplace. Then you will still have to pay the commission, for example, if it's like a commission-based marketplace, but that's basically the game for merchants. And now this is one of my favorite charts, to be fair, one of my favorite slides. Just to give you a quick example why marketplaces have shown such an exponential growth rather than being linear. And what marketplaces have in common with social networks are these so-called powerful network effects. So I will just quickly cover this in like 1 minute, maybe 19 seconds. So basically, if you start here from the left side, right? Once there is a new merchant being added or onboarded on your marketplace, you will see that this new merchant will deliver towards your selection and your convenience, right? Because he will add new products and services to your marketplace. Meanwhile, as he's adding new products to your marketplace, he will also increase the overall competition on your marketplace, which then again will resolve in competition between the merchants, and that might lower the price a bit, right? Because maybe another merchant will start to compete. It's still a free market on your marketplace, which again will deliver towards your USP of being of differentiation, having a strong offering, having an offering that is value driven for the customers, etc. This again triggers a whole cycle in terms of customer experience. Customers will enjoy that there are like the latest and hottest products, everything they need, the prices are fair, and they can basically order them. Once you increase the number of customers, you will see that there's increasing number of traffic, which again, traffic will result in an overall higher attractiveness for new merchants to be onboarded on your marketplace. And that's kind of that infinite cycle that is empowering them themselves, right? So once you start with, let's say, with a foundation of 20 merchants, you will see that with increasing demand of your marketplace, new merchants would like to join your marketplace, because for them it's like, okay, I don't want to be left out of this game. I want to be part in it. I want to play like a critical role. So I need to join your marketplace. And that again will result in multiple benefits, which again brings you back to a higher attractiveness for upcoming merchants. So now we were gonna talk a bit about technology, right? Like how is Spryker different here? How is Spryker enabling our customers and maybe you in the future to build a proper marketplace? So overall, Spryker decided to go with a really, from my point of view, it's one of the best ways to build technology nowadays. So on the left side in this graphic, you see the monolith, right? So maybe you are used to them. It's something that has been, people are used to monoliths technology, let's say the last 20, 25, 30 years. Basically, it's something that you set. It's like for forever, right? For the eternity. So it's built once, but then you might be limited, right? It's like a huge building, and it's hard to kind of modulate it or to re-innovate it, etc., which is a limiting factor. And that's why a lot of companies are moving to the other extreme, which is microservices. And maybe you heard about that, for example, Amazon or Netflix or Airbnb, they are running multiple thousands of microservices at the same time. So you can imagine that, for example, if you think of a checkout process, you could basically split the whole checkout process in 1,000 microservices that are just there to solve a certain process problem, right? Like, okay, checking the credit card score, checking the payment number, checking if the address of your delivery address is correct, etc. And what Spryker is doing with the term so-called package business capabilities is the best of these three dimensions, because basically we are combining a lot of microservices into modules, and those modules you can basically rearrange and plug and play basically like you want. So in terms of Spryker, if you think of checkout process, there is a checkout process module rather than, I don't know, 1,000 microservices waiting for you, which sounds cool because you can customize whatever you want, but it might also demand a lot of IT maintenance and an additional development time from your teams to customize it to your needs. Whereas Spryker with the package business capabilities is providing the best of both worlds, serving business and tech audiences the value they are actually looking for. That's why Spryker is a bit different here with all positive advantages you might imagine. And again, we are driven by flexibility, performance, and scalability. So in this graphic, we will start here within the white spot with the big green rectangle. So everything is, first of all, stored in the cloud, but feel free, you are basically covered. So if you think of an on-prem solution, we are here to help you. We can do that as well. That's not a limitation at all. But within the Spryker Cloud infrastructure, we are hosting the Spryker Cloud Commerce OS, which is, again, like I mentioned, built out of modules, like out of the package business capabilities. And within these package business capabilities, there are a few or a multitude of them that are only serving the needs of a marketplace. For example, if you think of a merchant onboarding, this is something which is unique for marketplaces, but might not be applicable at all for a B2C shop, for example. A merchant onboarding is something super specific for marketplaces. That's why we built package business capabilities just for that. Then the overall Spryker Cloud Commerce OS is basically linked to everything that might be already existing in your infrastructure. To the left side, we have the Spryker link, which enables you to connect the Spryker Cloud Commerce OS to your existing ERP system, your PIM, your hosting, etc., or other additional services like payment provider, technology providers, etc. Then to the top end, we have this Glue API, which basically makes Spryker not only API driven and let's say focusing on package business capabilities, but also headless, meaning we are uncoupled from the front end. If you think of your future marketplace interactions in which, for example, customers might be able to set a new order on your marketplace through a dash button or like a smartwatch they are wearing during, I don't know, walking through their storage, for example, that's basically, you can do that. That's as easy as it sounds. You can basically, you are unlimited in terms of front ends. You are not limited to something like a typical or classic web shop. You could build it to your needs or tailor to your needs. And once you might decide, okay, sounds great, Samuel and Liz, I am convinced and I actually want to dive in a bit deeper in how would that project look like? How does Spryker makes their customers so successful running marketplaces? Based on more than 200 projects we actually already successfully delivered, we identified that there's like a blueprint that we can actually follow. And that's like a 19 days project for now. So within these 19 days, our customers will be supported by different teams. We will start with a discovery journey. Our business consulting team will take care of you in terms of like identifying what are the business opportunities, risk and challenges, and how can we address them with suitable and feasible use cases. Then you basically will hand it over to our solution architects and the project teams, or maybe you are already partnering with an implementation partner or solution partner, which again, we are having a huge ecosystem of partners. So even if you need one, we can help you with that as well. And within that phase, we will have the whole evaluation time. We will talk about the marketplace scope. We will think of the first MVP implementation. And once that moment happened, that go live, and we will all cheer each other, leaning back, drinking a glass of champagne. Then you will be handed over to our beloved customer success team, and their mission is to help you to be successful with your marketplace. And they will run multiple review cycles with you. We also call them scaling cycles, because in these cycles we will basically do like a retrospective. So just to understand where did we come from, how are we doing, where are our goals, are we reaching them, how can we reach them. Now that we achieved a certain milestone, what are the next steps, etc. And by that, we basically keep improving the marketplace offering for you and your customers. Yeah, and it's something we're actually doing a lot these days. There are a lot of great customers that are already working with Spryker, which is really cool because we can build all the great and amazing success stories with them. So we just wanted to quickly share with you a few of those logos. They are from different verticals. Might it be grocery, automotive, B2B, like high technical components, etc. As I mentioned, package business capabilities makes it super easy for you to build the marketplace or the commerce tag that you are actually looking for, because you can basically build whatever you have in your imagination. And now we are actually getting close to the end, but we are still having a few slides for you. So forecast-wise, we start with a quick summary for now. So in short, so what are the market drivers, right? Just to recap so that you have your own takeaways, what to look for. So the market drivers that are actually enabling you to look for a marketplace opportunity. So overall, the market size. So we all saw that the market is huge for marketplaces, and the opportunity of a take rate, right? So if you think of a marketplace on which you run a multiple thousand transactions per day, if you just take 5 to 7% from that GMV as a take rate, that's an amazing business model. Then you have the overall technology velocity or the go-to-market efficiency. So again, you want to be faster than your competition. So teaming up with your merchants or your key suppliers instead of kind of competing with them might be a great way by offering them a marketplace. Then you have the increasing fragmentation, right? So everything gets more complex. That's why decreasing that friction by offering a marketplace is such a great evergreen at the moment. And then you have the overall B2B customer behavior, which is like increasingly complex, etc., and serving it with a marketplace might be the right solution. If you are looking for what are key let's say key identifiers exactly, from a product market fit perspective, you might think of KPIs or metrics such as the adoption rate, right? Like how many customers are adopting your current offering, how many merchants are adopting your offering. Then there are additional ones in terms of growth and scaling. How many GMV are you already running, or how much GMV is already running over your marketplace? What is the liquidity, etc. Customer relationship wise, you will definitely have a look on the overall recommendations. What is the retention? What is the repurchase rate on your marketplace? These are figures you should definitely look for. And then in the end, also economics wise, the overall take rate on your marketplace, the margin, the overall customer acquisition cost for new customers, and the customer lifetime value. Playground wise, I will leave just these numbers there. I think Liz did a tremendous job in already telling us a lot of those amazing numbers. And by the way, you will also get a recording of this webinar anyway. So you can just lean back once you get the recording and just have a more deeper look onto those, because I want to come to one of our latest and another great slide that we prepared for this webinar. So basically we got a lot of questions regarding like, hey, team at Spryker, can you please give us like an outline, like a sketch, maybe like a forecast, how that kind of growth might look like, right? Because we are talking about exponential growth, 10x, etc. And in this specific case, we just took the following assumptions. You run a B2B marketplace. In the first year, you will start with 20 merchants. Each of those merchants will basically contribute with 500 products to your marketplace. So that's why 10,000. We have an average conversion rate of just 2%, which for B2B for B2B commerce is not untypical. So that's quite the average. And then you basically have an average take rate of around 7%. And the average order value on this specific marketplace is roughly around like $500. That's basically the overall assumption. So this is like the standard. These are standardized market figures. The only assumption we took were the following. We assumed that from 1 year to the next year, you would be able to increase the number of merchants by 2.5, meaning from 20 to 50 and from 50 to 125. And if you now recall back again, that kind of circle, we just calculated that of each new merchant that you might add to your marketplace, everything just might be slightly positively influenced by 1%, just 1%, but increasing the conversion rate by 1% for each new merchant that you might add, because again, they will increase your attractiveness, they will increase the convenience of your product portfolio, etc. And by adding a new merchant and just increasing again your average order value by just 1%, if you start calculating that with a multitude of merchants that are all contributing to a multiple layers of metrics, you will finally see that there is like that typical hockey stick growth lying in marketplaces, which then again brought us to those kinds of figures. So, right, so in the first year, in that specific case, you would have like 3 million of GMV. You have like a take rate of 7%, right? But in the second year, you would already increase your, in the second year per month, you would increase your GMV up to nearly $8 million. Then again, with each increasing with the number of merchants, you might also be able to increase your take rate, right? Because if you think of your attractiveness of the marketplace, once you reach a certain critical number, you will be able to increase your take rate by a bit, because you can also think of exclusivity, right? To think of, okay, I want to be the most exclusive B2B marketplace. And that's why we are highly talking about a 10x opportunity that is lying within marketplaces. And I hope that we were able to give you like some outlines here, why it's something that definitely B2B companies should have a look on. Wow, what a long talk, but maybe Liz, should I give back to you for some last words? So what should all the people now do next, right?
Sure. Next step's very important. So, well, the first obvious step is that you need to read our B2B Marketplace Guide, which is 20 whole pages, goes into more detail of what we were talking about today. I believe that we will send this to everyone in a follow-up email.
Yes, we do.
Correct.
We got you covered. No problem at all.
It's not just that we're sending you the slides, but we're sending you even more information. So it's going to be able to answer all of your questions. You're going to have all of those charts there, all the numbers, perfect thing to take to your C-level and try to convince them that Marketplace is your next big e-commerce project.
Nice. And I think there's something else waiting for you.
Yes. So if you're more interested, about Spryker and marketplaces and how we really run things, then we have a great event coming up in October, on October the 7th, which is Spryker Excite. So you can attend in person in Berlin or in Miami in the US, or you can attend remotely. So, if you're used to virtual life, you can stay virtual. If you want to network in person, you can. It's a great opportunity. There's going to be some really, really exciting speakers. We can't say anything yet, but it's going to be a great event. I will just actually drop the link to that one in the chat here.
Oh, great.
In case you want to register, totally free event for that. And do you think we have time for any questions?
Yeah, I think that's a great occasion, actually. I'm just looking quickly on my... Okay, I think we are actually good in time. So I would say we were actually fast, were we? Oh, no, we are a bit late, actually.
It's actually only 30 minutes, but
in that case,
recording it anyway.
In that case, let's go. I think let's go with 2 of them. And then again, we got you covered. The questions are being recorded, and I will just tell the team that we will come back to you individually just to address all of them. But otherwise, again, you can also reach out to us, just reply to the emails you will get from us, for example. But Liz, shoot them out. I'm ready.
Okay, so you want just 2. Let's see. Let's go with this one. So, do you also offer consulting in terms of marketplace strategy and business execution? Good question.
Yes, we do. So maybe that's a good occasion. I will just quickly go to this slide. So like I mentioned, we are definitely having more than enough internal knowledge to help you and support you in your marketplace execution. What you see here is also applicable, let's say, within the evaluation of the whole marketplace, right? Let's say, once you are just having ongoing conversations with Spryker. If you want, you will always have the opportunity to talk with our business consulting team. The team consists of a multitude of people with more than 15 years in commerce experiences from different markets, different verticals, etc. And they would be happy to jump on a call with you just to have like a, I don't know, 20 minutes discovery call and evaluating, for example, your case. But then again, that might also be applicable, for example, for our strong partner ecosystem, which is able to support you in those questions. Let's do another one.
Okay, I have got a good one for you. How do you compete in comparison to other commerce technology vendors?
Okay, that's a critical one. Normally, I would say we should not talk about other market players. I mean, again, to be fair, the overall commerce space is huge, and there are multiple different opportunities in front of all of us. Like I mentioned, Spryker position ourselves a bit differently through the package business capability method, which allows you to basically have all the flexibility of microservices with the whole stability and manageability, right? You are actually, it's easy to manage them, to work with them, even from a business unit perspective. So that makes us a bit different. But I'm actually recalling, and I'm just looking at Liz, and I hope we can actually share that. There will be something coming up next week, which might be the right content you actually would like to look for. Unfortunately, I don't know if we would be able to share that, because I think Tim would basically tell me not to do so. But I would say, maybe, Liz, you could just share that link on which our attendees could basically register themselves to get that great content asset. We have to wait for that. That's why it will come out next week. So I can just tell you the following. If you want to know how we are competing in the market, maybe that might be the right content piece for you. So feel free to check that out. And I think that's basically it for now. We were a bit late, so I hope you still enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to to let us know, write us a message, etc. And otherwise, I would just say thank you, and we may see each other in the next one, right?
Yes, thank you very much. And we will get back to all the other questions that we haven't managed to answer.
Perfect. Enjoy your day. See you.
Okay, bye.